What is going on, guys? Brett Porter behind the horn today, coming to you live from Spa Catholic High School in beautiful downtown Saratoga Springs as your Saratoga Racers take on the Buffalo Extreme, making the 5-hour drive across the widest part of New York State. Number 2 in the American Basketball Association. This should be a heck of a game if there ever was any. Come to you live. This is a broadcast brought to you by NYBT Media. What you're probably noticing, these shooter shirts, these warm-ups, made to you by a good friend of mine, Josh Green, with Altered Apparel and More. If you need any custom anything, Josh Green at Altered Apparel is your guy. What is Altered Apparel and More? Based out of South Glens Falls. So notably, last home game, Nick Pierre was just come off a torn ACL and still managed to do some good work. Not seeing him so far. At this point, we will pause for the announcer break. All right, and of course, us took a pause for the national anthem. Starting lineups being announced right now. Your starting lineup for the Extreme so far: number 2, guard Howard Washington; number 4, Marcus Fagan; Marcellus Cooper, 14 forward; 12, Javon McCray; Javon McCray is looking like an absolute unit. I don't know if he's got a permit for those guns, but it looks like he might need them. That is just a muscular fellow. Once again, Buffalo Extreme, number 2 in the country. The Racing's lineup, of course, number 3, the guard on Guam Tobias Holmes. And arguably the funnest name to say on the Saratoga Racers, R.J. Rosa. That's C.J. Jenkins. Number 21, John Riles. Get used to hearing that name tonight, folks. The 6'5" forward out of St. Joseph's dropped over 40 against the Bennington Martins with 20 boards, 20 rebounds. between between John Riles and R.J. Rosa just a couple weeks back at Spa Catholic for their last home game. Almost the entirety of the Saratoga Racers offense was running through John Riles and R.J. Rosa. Definitely the epitome of a two-headed monster if there ever was one. The question is, number 2 ranked Buffalo Extremes, is that formula going to work again? Only time will tell. Because we got 48 minutes of basketball ahead of us. Here's step up. Got Devon McCray, and Isaiah Grandison. Grandison, a 6'9" out of Sacasty High School. And Grandison wins that tip-off, but it looks like that goes right to number 14. Goes right to Cooper. Cooper's shot misses. Washington up for a shot. That three-pointer is no good. That's going to be out of bounds. Howard Washington, number 2, could not connect on that. As Tobias Holmes trying to find an open man. For a split second, has the open R.J. Rosa. That shot's up. That shot's good. Saratoga Racers draw first blood. R.J. Rosa with a little bit of pep in that step. It's McCray. The quick pass up. And that's blocked. Craig going up again. And that one, that layup misses. Tobias Holmes. Tobias Holmes trying to find an open man, trying to find something going on here. Holmes goes up into the paint. And that floater is up and no good. It's the big man, McCraig, driving. Finds an open number 7. Number 7 making the drive. Juan Dubois doesn't get anything out of that. But Tobias Holmes, quick pass to Grandison. Grandison tries something. That doesn't go in either. All right, Washington to Dubois. And that's good. That's good for 3. The Extreme get their first points of the game with 10:46 to go in the first. Tobias Holmes driving. Finds an open R.J. Rosa to John Riles. John Riles' first touch of the game. Back to Tobias Holmes. Tobias Holmes, 3 points up. That's good. Howard Washington finds an open Cooper. Cooper to McCray. That's up, and that's no good, and that's going to be out of bounds. Or for Marcus Fagan, pleading his case, that was a foul. No call made. Tobias Holmes. Finds Grandison in traffic. Grandison back to Tobias Holmes. That three's up. That three's no good. That's going to be ruled out of bounds as it hits the guide wire to the basket. Wow. It's not a Cooper. Cooper's driving up the paint. Cooper's up. Put that on a poster. That's good for 2. This game's now tied 5-5 with just under 10 to go in the first. R.J. Riles immediately answers back with 2 of his own. Washington to Cooper. Cooper to the big man, McCray. McCray back to Washington. Washington finds an open Dubois. And that three-point shot is up and no good. McCray tries something of his own. That's no good either. John Riles now getting in step, going for a 3. This does not quite have it. Just a little to the right of center. Ourselves Cooper now going for a 3 of his own, and that's no good. Riles on the rebound. Slowing the game down for a second. Trying to find something going. Finds an open R.J. Rosa, and that 3 is up, and that's good. R.J. Rosa. Now at 5 points so far. Half of the Saratoga Racers offense so far. Racers up 10-5 with 8:50 to go. Howard Washington finding open Marcellus Cooper. Cooper finding Fagan. Back to Washington. That's no good. McCray catches his own rebound, and that's good for 2. Three-point game. Tobias Holmes. Little shimmy off to T.J. Jenkins. Jenkins with the pass to Rosa. Look at that fadeaway, but that shot's no good. And looks like we're going to get a shooting foul. Cool. And looks like Marcellus Cooper He's going to be getting his 2 shots in the free throw line. And that was Isaiah Grandison, the foul. And it looks like number 35, Joey Harden, the guard out of Herkimer, is going to be getting ready to check in a second. Joey Harden and Shaheem Sanders. Marcellus Cooper, first shot's up, first shot's good. It's 32, 33, and 35. Sanders, Spotswood, and Harden check in for Grandison. Jenkins. And that second free throw is up. That second is good. 1-point game. 8 minutes to go. That's Tobias Holmes. Tobias Holmes set up a beautifully planned screen there. Todd Spots with the 6'10" center out of Hertford. Cooper gets kind of caught in traffic as RJ Rosa gets dished the rock. Rosa to Joey Harden, and that shot is no good. Joey Harden with the pass to RJ Rosa, and that three just tickles the front of the rim. It's Cooper. Cooper now with the rock. Cooper fakes up for the jumper, but lays it up, just tickles the glass. And once again, a 1-point game. Racers 12, Extreme 11. Tobias Holmes, once again, trying to plays the screen beautifully, but the three-pointer does not connect, doesn't even touch rim. It's Cooper airs it out to McCray. McCray driving to the paint, put down a poster too. Buffalo Extreme take their first lead of the night, 13-12. Tobias Holmes trying to find something, trying that screen again. Looks like we're taking a media timeout. Take this time to thank some of our sponsors, including Greenwich Ford. Saratoga Racers would like to thank Greenwich Ford because without them, we would not have a season. And we could say the same with the rest of our sponsors, including, of course, the people broadcasting to you right now, NYVT Media, the Lansingburg Boys and Girls Club, as they're the official practice home of the Saratoga Racers, the Franklin Hospitality Group, the Hotel Trilogy, ADK Orthodontics, KS Squared Construction, PA Medical Supply, and Stewart Shops. The inaugural MLK Classic comes to you all weekend long at Spa Catholic High School. Today, Saratoga Racers taking on the number 2 Buffalo Extreme. And tomorrow, taking on the Rochester Royal Ballers. That's going to be coming to you live tomorrow, 3 p.m. Once again at Spa Catholic High School. All right, and after that media timeout, Todd Spotswood to throw it in. And that's going to be inbounded by Sanders. Sanders, quick pass to Joey Harden. Harden dishes it back to Sanders. Gets it off the glass, but no good. And the Extreme, looks like the Extreme are going to be called on a shooting foul there. And number 14, Marcel Cooper is going to be called on that one. Joey Harden gets 2 from the line. First one's up. First one good. Let's have a tie game. 6:39 to go in the first. Harden's second shot is up. And that's good. Racers reclaim the lead, 14-13. As Teron Dubois dishes it out to Washington. Washington to Fagan. Back to Dubois. To Marcellus Cooper. Cooper passes it up to Marcus Fagan. And looks like we have an opportunity for a 3-point play here. Shaheem Sanders gets his first foul of the night. And that's going to send Marcus Fagan to the line for one more for a free throw. And Fagan's shot is up, and that's good. 16-14 extreme. 6.2 to go. Tobias Holmes dishes it to RJ Rosa. Rosa to Harden. Harden kind of scanning the field, finds Tobias Holmes. Holmes. Holmes driving. Holmes goes up. And in traffic, floats one in. It's now a tie game, 16-all with 6 to go. It's Fagan with the pass to Dubois. Dubois to White Lightning, John Park. Back to Washington. Washington back to John Park. As Washington's shot is up and no good. Shaheem Sanders rebounds that. RJ Rosa now with the rock. Dishes it back to Sanders. Sanders tries to give it back to Rosa and gets broken up in traffic there. As look at that excellent shot block by Joey Harden. Harden dishes it quick to RJ Rosa. And that's good for three. RJ Rosa getting his second three of the night. Washington back to Du Bois. Where's the bottom Fagan? Going back to Washington. And the Buffalo Extreme answer with a three. The three of their own. Now 19-19 with 5 minutes to go. Tobias Holmes trying to set something up. Spotswood getting ready to be the human stream. As Sanders dishes it to Rosa. Rosa goes up for another three, and that one's no good. And Spotswood on the rebound. Dishes it to Tobias Holmes, and that's good for three. Tobias Holmes. John Park dishes it out to Karan Dubois. Back to Washington. Washington back to Dubois. Dubois is up. Goes for a jumper just on the outside of the paint, and that's no good. Spotswood passes it back to RJ Rosa. Rosa, quick handoff to Harden. Harden finds an open Tobias Holmes. And Tobias Holmes goes for a long three. It's rolling, it's strong, it's down to get the friction on as that's good for another 3 points. Saratoga Racers have a 6-point lead with 4 minutes to go in the first. Washington gets blocked in traffic, but that three still goes. That is 2 threes in a row for Howard Washington. Tobias Holmes trying to settle down for a bit. Tries to make something happen, and he's going to draw the foul. Tobias Holmes is going to get 2 from the line. We're on to boys. Oh, all right, while we're taking this time out, real quick, we'd just like to once again thank our sponsors. Without them, this season would not be possible. Of course, your friends at Greenwich Ford, DeAndrea's Pizza, Hotel Trilogy, Franklin Hospitality Group, the Lansingburg Boys and Girls Club, the official practice home of the Saratoga Racers, Adirondack Orthodontics, KS Squared Construction, PA Medical Supply, and of course, Stewart Shops. So, following this timeout, Tobias Holmes is going to get 2 from the free throw line, but as it currently stands, Racers are up 3, 25 to the Buffalo Extremes 22, with 3:41 to go in the first. Yes, sir. One, John Riles hanging back in case this goes awry. Todd Spotsman hanging out back there too. Hopefully, try to keep an eye on. And the low and extreme. Miles now getting up a little closer. Spice Holmes' first free throw shot was good. The second one skates in and out of the basket as Washington finds an open Aaron Jones. Jones back to Washington to John Park. Jones, three is up and the three is no good. John Riles on the rebound finds Joey Harden. Joey Harden marching up the court. Going into the paint. What a dish to Shaheem Sanders. It's like, that's the kind of stuff you see in the movies. Shaheem Sanders gets the behind the back pass from Joey Harden. John Park now from the key. Goes for a three-pointer. No good. Sanders had the rebound. Finds open Harden. John Riles all the time in the world. And that three just doesn't connect. Tobias Holmes ends up with possession after that. Joey Harden. Joey Harden trying to march, trying to find something. It's John Riles' shot. Was up and no good. So number 21 on the Buffalo Extreme getting his first foul. It's also going to give to John Riles 2 shots at the line. Riles first one up. Good. So number 21, Voldo. Riles' second shot off and good. Racers 8-point lead with 2:40 to go. Washington fishing out to Jones. Jones giving it to the big man McRae. McRae. Nothing going there. This is John Park. John Park shoots it from just outside the paint. That's good for 2. The Extreme cut their deficit down to 6. It's Tobias Holmes. Dishes off. Shaheem Sanders. Looks like we have a foul on the ball. Looks like we got matching fouls in both the Racers and the Extreme. 33 top spots for them. So Washington goes up for 3. That's good. Wow. We've got 2 minutes and 6 seconds to go in the first. Tobias Holmes goes for the 3 as Todd Spotswood making a better wall than a window. Tobias Holmes basically jumping over Spotswood. That's good for a 3. Aaron Jones dishing out to Washington. And that is picked off by Tobias Holmes. Holmes goes up. And Holmes draws the foul. Just when you thought he had himself the perfect runaway. But still managed to draw a foul. Probably not as intended by any means. From his perspective, he probably thought he was taking it and running all the way to the bank, and almost. Right, Tobias Holmes. First shot is up. First shot's no good. Hits the back of the rim, hits the front of the rim, hits the ground. It's not no in. Tobias Holmes. Second shot is up. Second shot is good. John Park. Dishing it to Kron, the boys, inbounding it. Finds Smith. Finds the big man, Javon McRae, in the paint. As TJ Jenkins comes down with that. TJ Jenkins gestures it back to John Riles. bobbles it, but still maintains possession. Isaiah Grandison going up for a layup from under the rim, but doesn't translate. As Caron Du Bois goes up for a three, does not even, doesn't hit bank, doesn't hit rim, nothing. Straight up textbook air ball. Tobias Holmes, oh, going up for another three. And based on how automatic he's been for the past few minutes, you figured it had gone in, but no luck as it smacks off the front of the rim. John Park getting the pass from Caron Du Bois. Well, that's good. Extreme cut their deficit down to 5. Racers 34, Extreme 29, 50 seconds to go. Tobias Holmes finds RJ Rosa. Rosa dishing it to Jenkins, but that's picked off by Du Bois. And John Park going in for a split second. It looked like White Lightning was getting ready to dunk, but no, just floats it on in, cuts the lead down, cuts the Racers lead down to 3. 30 seconds to go in the first. Tobias Holmes. Looks like number 9 Smith is going to be called. Who's going to be called on that? Grandison to throw it in. Oh, and that's picked off. That's picked off by Aaron Jones. Jones finds Du Bois. Du Bois going for the pass, but that's blocked by RJ Rosa. 20 seconds to go. Du Bois inbounded by Jones. Looks like John Riles going to be called on a foul there. Possession back to the extreme. Jones inbounding it to Du Bois. Du Bois back to Jones. Finds Smith. Smith was in a sea of racers as Isaiah Grandison comes down with that. And RJ Rosa going for the quick turnaround. Well, Luke Perez was just one step ahead, quite literally. It's Du Bois inbounded by Jones with 5 seconds to go. As Javon McCray goes for a shot. No good. Number 9, Smith, tries to get one out in the last second. That is also no good. At the end of the first, the end of 12 minutes, ABA basketball, Saratoga Racers maintain a 3-point lead against the visiting number 2 in the country, Buffalo Extreme. For those of you just tuning in, I'm Brett Porter with NYVT Media, visiting the legendary Velvet Voice Keith Harrington's own team, Saratoga Racers. Eric Picar performing double duty as both the cameraman and the producer for this NYVT Media Sportscast. So far, the offense has been primarily, it's hard to really dictate, primarily has been making the moves, but to the surprise of nobody, it's RJ Rosa has been what points out. Tobias Holmes has been shooting extremely well from beyond the key. Head coach Bob Catherwood talking things over with the crew. So yeah, this is Saratoga Racers are hovering somewhere in the mid-20s, I believe, nationwide. Take on the visiting, and I cannot stress this enough. Number 2 in the country, Buffalo Extreme. And at the end of 12 minutes, have a 3-point lead. And to start the second, Perez must stay on the court. Perez, Rosa, Jenkins, Riles, and Shaheem Sanders. Perez, inbounded by John Riles. Riles. Dishes it to Perez. Perez to Rosa. Rosa trying to get some motion there and finds Luke Perez. Luke Perez with a mid-range jumper that's no good. As Marcel Cooper pisses it off. Du Bois quickly in transition. Good for 2. Only down by 1 now to start the second. It's Perez to RJ Rosa. And Rosa's no good. Skates off the rim, skates off the glass. And rebounded by number 12, Javon McCray. Gives it off to Du Bois. Du Bois to Washington. Washington gives it to Fagan. Fagan off to Cooper. Marcellus Cooper, no good from three. And it looks like it's like Javon McRae when they seem the last to touch it. As Perez dishing it out to Riles. Riles back to Perez. Perez back to Riles. Gives it to TJ Jenkins. Goes up, floats that one in for two. TJ Jenkins trying to create some more separation. Back to a 3-point lead for the Racers. As the boys getting held up by Luke Perez for a second. As Washington dishing it away. Gets in the hands of Cooper, but not for long. As John Riles. You look at that. Riles going up to RJ Rosa. And Shaheem Sanders to dunk that bad boy in. Immediately, of course, followed by a 3-point play from Buffalo. 30-36 with 10-11 to go in the second. As Perez dishing off to RJ Rosa. That's good for three. Saratoga Racers immediately hits back. RJ Rosa on that three. It's Washington trying to muster up some offense. Finds an open Cooper. Marcellus Cooper giving it back to Howard Washington. Washington seeing a sea of Racers. Dishes it back to Cooper. And TJ Jenkins going to be called. We called on that shooting foul. Marcellus Cooper gets two from the free throw line. First one's up. First one's good. As TJ Jenkins is going to come out. Perez going to come out. And we're going to get Spotswood and supply us home. And Cooper, second one's up, second one's good. Once again, just a 3-point game with 9:40 to go in the second. Tobias Holmes finds Spotswood. Tobias Holmes just couldn't hold on to that as Marcellus Cooper is going to go up. And that's good. And that dunk's good for two. Racers still clinging on to a lead as best they can. 41-40 with just over 9 to go in the second. Tobias Holmes loses control of that one. Fagan, excuse me. Marcellus Cooper. Call for a travel on that. Jay Rosa immediately answering back. For a split second, it looked like the Buffalo Extreme had momentum in their favor. It looked like they were going to go on a little bit of a tear. But R.J. Rosa answers back with another 3-point pointers. Fagan passes it off to the big man McRae. Now Javon McRae is going to have his two from the free throw line. That's Todd Spotswood on the foul. Todd Spotswood, once again, the 6'10" is a center out of Herkimer. When I say that's a grown man, that is exactly all the embodiment of that is a grown man. I'm crazy. First free throw up and good. Second one, excuse me. 2-point game with 8:38 to go. Tobias Holmes finds Riles. Riles scanning. Being held up pretty well by Cooper. Riles trying to drive up. And that's rebounded by Buffalo. Cooper dishing off to the big man McRae. And just like that, Javon McRae tying the game 44 all. So we got some confusion on the court right now. It was a Buffalo timeout. That's what was going on, trying to clear up some of the confusion. And while we are in this timeout, might as well take a quick second to thank our sponsors. First one being Adirondack Orthodontics, plus BBL Hospitality, plus all of your Clifton Park Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, DeAndrea's Pizza, some good pizza, folks. Franklin Hospitality Group, and G&S Printing. As this timeout concludes, RJ Rosa thrown in, inbounded by Tobias Holmes. Tobias Holmes wiping some of the sweat off his face and gets shouldered. You saw Cooper kind of hitting Tobias Holmes' shoulder first there. And let me be clear, please. Marcellus Cooper is not a small man. That looks like we are going to have ourselves on a brief timeout here. So, to those of you just tuning in, thank you for tuning in. So, coming to you live from Spa Catholic High School, Brett Porter on the horn, and the producer, the man you don't see, but the man who makes this all possible, Eric Picar, simultaneously the cameraman and the producer, as your Saratoga Racers take on the visiting Buffalo Extreme. 5 hours, 200 plus miles. It takes the number 2 in the American Basketball Association, Buffalo Extreme. And after 16 minutes of basketball, the Racers and the Extreme are neck and neck, 44 piece, 8:04 to go in the half. So Coach Catherwood trying to maybe come up with a game plan to float the team through the half. At one point, had a lead as high as 9 points. But the Extreme have had some bursts of momentum and slowly eroded away at that deficit. Now, as I said, 44 all. So RJ Rosa looked like it's going to be inbounded by John Riles, but Cooper gets a piece of it. Rosa inbounded by Holmes. Holmes found an open Spotswood, but Spotswood just slips right through his fingers. Sanders ends up getting it, gives it to Riles. Oh, to Rosa, excuse me, back to Sanders, who gets blocked in transition. Karan Du Bois. Karan Du Bois. It's going to go up to the free throw line as Tobias Holmes called on that foul. Boys, first one's up, first one's good. The Extreme once again reclaim the lead. The boys' second shot is up and good. Extreme now up 2 with 7:41 to go in the half. Tobias Holmes finds an open Spotswood. Spotswood driving. That's the big man, Javon McCray. Peanut punching that one out of bounds. Tobias Holmes going for the quick 3, but that one's no good. Howard Washington, Marcus Fagan hanging back, trying to make something happen. And it looks like Spotswood's going to be called on that one, too. Just over halfway through well, not even halfway through the second quarter, and that's Spotswood already up to 3 fouls. I mean, kind of the point of having a big man. That's what they do. They do screens. They dunk. They do all that. John Riles. Ties it back up again, 46 all. 7:05 to go. Du Bois goes for something, and immediately RJ Rosa picking it up, finds an open Tobias Holmes and throws a Hail Mary. And just like that, Saratoga Racing have reclaimed the lead, 48-46, 6:48 to go. Themselves Cooper scanning. Fakes out RJ Rosa. Cooper goes up. That floater's good. This once again a tie game. Riles inbounded by Tobias Holmes. Tobias Holmes finding Riles. Riles, that three is up, and that three is good. John Riles reclaiming the lead for the Racers, 51-48 with 6:15 to go. Howard Washington passes it off to Cooper. Cooper back to Washington. Washington Fagan. Fagan back to Cooper. To Washington. And Cooper from the key. 3-pointers up and no good. Fagan on the rebound. Boy floats it up to him. Yeah. And it was tickling around, but no good. Devon McRae takes his own rebound, and that's good for two. Racers just now, once again, a 1-point lead, 5:40 to go in the half. Tobias Holmes passes it into a sea of both Racers and Extreme. And Buffalo comes up with it as Du Bois onto the rim. Eventually, Marcus Fagan comes down with that, and that's good for two. Buffalo Extreme now have a 1-point lead with 5:25 to go in the half. Tobias Holmes trying to make something happen here. Finds Spotswood. Spotswood goes up. Spotswood doesn't even touch rim there. Big man's not connecting on the shot. This Du Bois comes up and floats that one in. That's good for two. Buffalo Extreme have their biggest lead of the night. Racers down 51 to the Extremes 54. 4:45 to go. Tobias Holmes slowing it down for a second. Looks like there's a little bit of miscommunication there. As Tobias Holmes falls down, can't come down with it. It's Todd Spotswood saves it from going out of bounds. Oh, and Tobias Holmes was going for the Tobias Holmes. So this second foul tonight. Extreme now have now a 6-point lead, 4:18 to go. So Marcel Cooper has opportunities to make this a 3-point play. Cooper shots up. That's no good. Let's go. Came down with it. But no good. Joey Harden dishes it out to an open Riles. Down Riles frees up. It's good. For a split second, it looked like that 3-pointer wasn't going to stick. Caught the inside of the rim just when it needed to. Racers cut the lead down. I spoke way too soon. It's Extreme answer with a three of their own. Joey Harden now, now driving. Washington. Washington with the pass to Golden. That's rebounded by Holmes. Holmes finds Harden. Harden's going to, oh no, that's number 10, TJ Jenkins. There's Harden. TJ Jenkins coming down with it. Todd Spotswood, what was he doing there? As the ball was coming his way, he moved out of the way. All right, well, while we have this quick reprise, Take this moment to thank our sponsors. Of course, Greenwich Ford, KS Squared Construction, the Lansingburg Boys and Girls Club, the official practice location of your Saratoga Racers. NYVT Media, the reason we are able to broadcast this as we speak. And NYVT Media again, and PA Medical Supply. And Pinnacle Roofing Incorporated. Hey, we got you covered. And all right, with that, looks like we're getting back into the swing of things. Racers 54, Extreme 60, 3:27 to go in the half. It's Howard Washington trying to direct some of his teammates, gives it to Du Bois. Du Bois handing it off to Cooper. Cooper giving it off to Golda. Golda giving it to John Clark. John Clark, that's good for another two. Extreme now just expanding that lead. 8-point lead is the biggest lead they've had all night. At one point being down by 9, it's now being up 8. That's Tobias Holmes. Shots up and no good. It's like he's that's going to be on John Park. That's going to get Tobias Holmes 2 shots at the free throw line. Every time I say the name John Park, it makes me think of a good friend of mine, John Clark, who's also Spot Catholic alumnus. Currently a postman for Skidmore College as Tobias Holmes' first shot up and good. And second shot is up. Second shot's good. Tobias Holmes. It's Howard Washington. Just that quick in transition gives off to Cooper. And Cooper jumping, just jumping right over John Riles and floating it in. That's good for 2 with 2:46 to go. And Isaiah Grandison just can't hold on to it. That's going to slip out of bounds. That's going to be extreme ball. That's going to be a quick 30-second timeout from your Saratoga Racers. So if you're just tuning in, Brett Porter coming to you live from Spot Catholic High School. The Saratoga Racers taking on the number two of the entire American Basketball Association, Buffalo Extreme. Racers currently down 8, currently down 64 to the Racers 56. Coach Bob Catherwood trying to maybe come up with a game plan to get them to at least get them into the locker room for the half. 2:44, 2 minutes and 44 seconds separating them from halftime. That Howard Washington dished the rock and Karan Du Bois to inbound it. Boys back to Washington, back to Du Bois. Finds Marcellus Cooper. Marcellus Cooper's 3-pointers up and skates right off as Grandison tried to pick it up. What a sequence of events as that ball goes everywhere. As both Harden and Jenkins try to get something going on there. And then even Tobias Holmes go for a 3, also doesn't make it. There's Joey Harden's going to be called. Joey Harden going to be called to this first foul of the game. It's Cooper and Du Bois hanging back. starting this marked up. And they find Washington from the arc. John Park going for a three, and that's no good. Du Bois. Du Bois marking. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. As Cooper goes up for something. Looks like TJ Jenkins is going to be called on that. That's Howard Washington. And mounted by Cooper. And Coach Catherwood is yelling for a travel. Still trying to figure out what's going on from the eyes of the referees, but Coach Bob Catherwood was trying to trying to tell the refs like, hey, that was a travel. But ultimately, that is up to the referee's discretion. I'm not a referee. I'm simply a fan of the game. All right. But on that note, Bias Holmes taking a free throw, and that's good for one. And a second. All right. Riles dishing that off. Joey Harden. Harden back to Riles. Riles is going to make a drive for it and finds Shaheem Sanders, but he just can't hold on to it. It looked like it was about to be a pretty sick dunk, too, and no good as an open around Du Bois. Unblocked, uncovered, unleashed. That's good for another 3 points for Buffalo. 9 point game with just over a minute to go. Tobias Holmes lined up face to face with Du Bois. Flips one up to Jenkins. Jenkins takes it back to Riles. Riles to Sanders. And Sanders against himself this time. Floats it in from underneath the rim. 60-67 with 52 seconds to go. As the big man McCray dish it. Gets to Cooper. Gets to Fagan. Gets to Du Bois. And that pass is picked off by Tobias Holmes of all people. Holmes is going to find John Riles. And John Riles with a three punches right off in front of the rim. 33 seconds to go. Washington's dishing it off to Cooper. Marcellus Cooper from the rim. From the corner, up. No good. Boys. Finding Washington. Washington back to Du Bois. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. And with that, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. It's going to be a shot clock violation on Buffalo. Or at least that, if I'm reading this correctly, should be a shot clock violation. But it does look like McCray got stuffed there when he was. At the very least, the crowd seems to be pretty much in agreement that the shot clock did hit zero. So the referee is saying that's not going to be a shot clock violation because there was a foul on the court. Number 35, Joey Hardman. But with that in mind, You got some free throws coming up at 12.1 seconds to go in the half. Marcus Fagan going to this too. 67-60 in favor of Buffalo. You have to wonder what kind of adjustments Bob Catherwood is going to make for the second half. And that's not to say that this is going to be an easy game no matter what. We are talking about the number 2 ranked Buffalo Extreme in the entire association. Fagan first shot up and good. And you do have to give the Racers credit for so far making this only an 8-point game. Um, go keep in mind that they're going against one of the better teams in the league. But I'd be very curious, as I imagine a lot of you are curious to see what Bob Catherwood does. Start the second half. Riles got 5 seconds. 5 seconds to do something. And picked up by Dubois. With 2 seconds to go, Dubois gets a shot off. And that's so good. It gets blocked at the last possible second. And to end the first half, the Buffalo Extreme with a 9-point lead, 69 to Saratoga Racers 60. That's how White's coming up the board. So when we come back from halftime, Saratoga Racers will start with possession. And until then, we are going to take a short break on our end of things. We're going to maybe grab ourselves a Gatorade or something. I encourage you to do the same. But if you're just tuning in right now, Racers 60, Buffalo Extreme 69 at the half. Brett Porter on the horn. Eric Picar, our producer, coming to you live from Spa Catholic High School. We'll be back with you momentarily. But in the meantime, we've got some kids basketball coming up ahead. Hope you enjoy that while we take a break. Buff- Buffalo Extreme 69, Saratoga Racers 60. Second half, 20 seconds away from getting underway. Keeping it relatively close, given the fact that the Buffalo Extreme is once again the number 2 ranked team in the country. If you're just tuning in, Brett Porter with NYVT Media, reporting to you live from Spa Catholic High School, the home of the Saratoga Racers. They take on the Buffalo Extreme as RJ Rosa passes inbounded by Tobias Holmes. Holmes scanning the court, calling ISO. Was going for Rosa, but Cooper getting right in the middle of that. Coach Catherwood. Well, Coach Catherwood letting the referees have it. You can probably hear him through my microphone as we speak. Game. And that gets corrected by the other NBA official. As a quick dish to RJ Rosa and air ball. And that's gonna be Buffalo ball. Out of bounds, a little bit of miscommunication there as Du Bois with the pass to the big man, Javon McCray. McCray gets the first points of the half, 71-60 with 11:25 to go in the game. In the third, excuse me. It's Tobias Holmes, excuse me. Tobias Gibson's an actual NBA player, I'm pretty sure. Either way, it's acting like I didn't say that as Du Bois passing it to Fagan. Washington back to the big man McCray, Javon McCray. That's up, and that's good for another 2. Javon McCray getting 4 points in less than 40 seconds. Tobias Holmes trying to find something as Buffalo just keeps stacking on the points. Now they're just piling onto their biggest lead of the night. 13-point lead so far, 73 to Buffalo or the Saratoga Racers 60. That foul. I was following McCray. Tobias Holmes throwing it in, inbounded by RJ Rosa. Rosa looked like he was trying to make a drive. Does a little bit of misdirection. That's Marcus Fagan. Marcus Fagan's going to be called on a reaching foul there. RJ Rosa passing it to the big man, Todd Spotswood, 6'10". Spotswood, the 4 fouls and just a minute and a half into the third. Got to be careful. Definitely is the one getting basically foul trouble. Washington go for the 3. Looks like someone got a piece of it. It's Riles now coming down the other end. Riles is driving. Riles ends the drought as Saratoga Racers get their first points of the night. As that's out of bounds. That's out of bounds off of the chin of Marcellus Cooper. Tobias Holmes now marching up. And that's good for another team. Tobias Holmes now answering back with some points of their own. Now only a single-digit deficit. 64 to Buffalo Extreme 73. It's the boys challenging the big man McCray. And Spotswood's getting in the middle of that. Listen, Levon McCray is an absolute unit, but when you see him standing next to Todd Spotswood, you would think that's father and son. That's Tobias Holmes for another 3, and now just a 6-point game. Saratoga Racing scored 7 unanswered. And immediately Marcellus Cooper answered that with a dunk in the zone. on 8-point game. Tobias Holmes. Tobias Holmes surrounded by the extreme. Dishes out to Riles. Riles looks like that floater, that 3-point floater was going to go in, but skates in and out as Washington driving up. Washington going for a jumper and people get a piece of it. RJ Rosa and Todd Spotswood both getting pieces on the rebound. And are they gonna call that a charge? I wonder. Well, that's Elias Holmes' third foul of the game. I didn't check to see if the Cooper's feet were planted. As Caron Dubois. Caron Dubois makes gets another floater layup in there. Todd Spotswood trying to get a hand on it. Um, Tobias Holmes was trying to pass it to Spotswood. I mean, that looked like a Hail Mary shot from one side of the court to the other. And Spotswood got just enough of a finger on it. And we got a stoppage on the court trying to figure out what's gonna be a little bit of confusion on the court. Trying to figure out what. But Du Bois with the ball. Cooper going up for a three, and that three it's gonna hit off the glass. Holmes now. Holmes in possession, trying to find somebody open, decides to do it himself, but that's no good. Just off the left side of the rim. That's the big man, Javon McCray. Almost lets it go out of bounds. And in traffic, Javon McCray still manages to get that in. Surrounded by racers. Holmes now. Holmes now trying to get out of the face of Ron Du Bois with the pass to RJ Rosa. Rosa has the jumper. Todd Spotswood's there. The big man going for a big three, and that's a big miss. But leave it to Jaheim Sanders to finish that. That's good for two. 10-point game, 7:28 to go. 12-point game, with 7:24 to go. So that's the big man again, Javon McCray. Tobias Holmes now trying to find something. Du Bois once again up in his grill. Dishes it off to Sanders. Sanders good for a quick two. Once again, 10-point game. Ron Du Bois. Quick pass to Marcellus Cooper. And we're going to take a quick four timeout as RJ Rosa gets his first foul of the game. Of course, the PA on the court. Thank one of our sponsors, Stewart Shops. And while we have a little bit of a timeout on the court, might as well go through some of ours, including the shot spot shooting facility. Work on work on that mid-range jumper you've always been promising you'd hone in. Spot the shot spot. Of course, Stewart Shops. Hotel Trilogy. The hotel's so nice they named it twice. And with that, looks like we're going to be getting back into the swing of things. Racers 71, Extreme 81, 7:02 to go in the third. Washington throwing in. Inbounded by is inbounded by number 9. And a little bit of misdirection there. Elias Holmes ends up with the rock. Well, dishes it to RJ Rosa. Giving it to Isaiah Grandison. Grandison. Good from just outside the paint for 2. Once again, now just a single digit deficit. The Racers are stacked up against. Marcel Cooper facing off against Grandison. Gives it off to an open Smith. And John Park making a better wall than a window. Speaking of walls, the human wall himself, Todd Spotswood, takes that one off, gives it to Rosa. Rosa giving it to Joey Harden. Harden survives Holmes to Spotswood. And the big man passing it off to Grandison. And can he do it? Looked like he was about to. Looked like Spotswood was about to get his first points of the game. But John Park getting in the way. Oh, a nasty fall from Washington on that play is. As the extreme get to. Grandison to Spotswood. Spotswood to Holmes. Holmes driving up, and that's good. Marcellus Cooper now finds an open John Park. Back to Cooper, back to Washington. And Park's gonna do his own screen. The three's no good. But kind of just pops it in on the rebound. Extreme up 10 with 5:07 to go in the third. John Park's going to be called for his, I believe it's his second foul. That's, that's Javon McCray frantically yelling for substitutions. Marcel Cooper's going to take it for you. There's the big man, Javon McCray, coming back in. Speaking of big men, Spotswood with the rock. Being double covered. Oh, you want to see Todd Spotswood at least get one dunk in. The 6'10" center out of Herkimer. But Spotswood quick pass to Harden. Very Harden. Covered by Washington. And a wide open John Riles, but that three just barely even makes it to the rim, let alone the basket. Washington now trying to find an open man. McCray just short. McCray falls short on that shot from right outside the paint. Spotswood giving it up to Harden right away. Harden's shot is up. No good. That's rebounded by Javon McCray. Riles trying to get a hand on it. Doesn't. Covering Washington best as he can. Fagan getting in the way of Riles. Washington now drive up to paint. Is going to go for a little jumper, and that's no good. John Park's going to rebound that. Park's shot's going to go up, and that's good. John Park for 2. Elias Holmes. Wiping some sweat off the brow. Finding an open Spotswood. Spotswood can move fast for a big man, I got to say. As they dish one off to Grandison. Grandison shot from the key, no good. And John Park. White lightning on the dunk there. Was not expecting that, but we saw it. Buffalo Extreme now have their highest lead of the night at 89 to the Saratoga Racers 75. Looks like we're going to have some immediate timeout. So I'll take a second to thank some of our sponsors who make these broadcasts possible, including Adirondack Orthodontics, your place for tooth care. BBL Hospitality. Your Clifton Park Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. DeAndrea's Pizza. Franklin Hospitality Group. G&S Printing. And of course, Greenwich Ford. And KS Squared Construction. And if you are just tuning in, this is Brett Porter. We are coming to you live from Spa Catholic High School, the home of the Saratoga Racers, as they're hosting the #2 Buffalo Extreme. Currently, the Extreme are holding on to a 14-point lead, 89 to the Saratoga Racers, 75, 3:43 to go in the third. At one point, at the end of the first quarter, Racers had at one point as high as a 9-point lead, and now the Extreme with the biggest pull away of the night so far, 14 points past the Racers, and John Park with the opportunity to make it 15. And that's up, and that's good. John Park makes the free throw. Tobias Holmes is going to throw that inbounded by TJ Jenkins. And immediately gives it back to Holmes. Holmes to Jenkins. Jenkins in the paint. He's going to pass it to John Riles. And that three-pointer just looks so good in the air until it hit rim. No good. Javon McCray now dumps it off to Ron Du Bois. Du Bois to pass to John Park. John Park to Smith. Smith back to Du Bois. It looks like Vega was trying to run a screen there. Smith goes up for a three, and that's no good, and that's going to be inbounded by John Park. But TJ Jenkins comes down with that after John Park misses. I'm going to dish it off immediately to Holmes. Looks like Joey Harden. Looks like Joey Harden's going to get fouled there. He's going to have his shoe at the line. Joey Harden's first one's up is no good. Second one's up, second one's good. Trying to cut into that. Now 14-point deficit. It's the boys. The boys trying to find some action. We're just going to hand that one off to Smith in motion. Smith's shot's going to go up, and that's good. It's good for two. Now, Extreme once again, now 16-point lead over the Racers and 2:38 to go in the third. Tobias Holmes just in traffic. And they're going to call Smith on that foul. Well, that's Tobias Holmes. Inbounded by TJ Jenkins. TJ Jenkins is up, and that shot, says over the rim. It's a little too much behind it. Looks like John Park. It's like, I believe they called John Park on that. Yeah, John Park's third foul. Personally. Oh, a little bit of misdirection there. As Tobias Holmes throws it in. Wiles going to get a hand on it. Hard to catch it, though. Finds the Wiles. Super quick pass. Tobias Holmes. Well, that three-pointer does not translate to anything. As Fagan dishes a pass deep. Ultimately, Du Bois, the one to recover it. Passed it to Fagan. Fagan to Cooper. Marcellus Cooper's three is up and no good. Fagan on the rebound. That's no good. And after a little bit of commotion, Joey Harden went to retain possession for the Racers. And Joey Harden. And what originally looked like we were about. Joey Harden's going to get called on that foul. Shots up and no good. It looked like we had the opportunity to see a three-point play, but instead we see Harden's third foul. Du Bois, great pass to Cooper. Cooper to Smith. Shuffles it back to Du Bois. Tobias Holmes keeping an eye on Du Bois. Shovels it off to Fagan. Finds Cooper. Shot clock's down to 3. Cooper's shot is up. Shot's no good. That's going to be rebounded by Joey Harden. It finds Tobias Holmes. Tobias Holmes with a deep 3. No luck there. Smith recovering that. And as well, ball goes out of bounds. Looks like they're going to say, that Joey Harden touched it last. That's going to be Buffalo ball. After that, looks like after talking it over, looks like they're going to favor. Looks like they're actually going to roll with the Buffalo's last touch ball before it went out of bounds. It's TJ Jenkins now with the rock. But the one from under the rim, that's no good. If Buffalo rebounds that. Karan Du Bois passed it off to Washington. Washington hands back off to Smith. Smith Du Bois. Du Bois Washington. Are you guys still catching up with this? As Washington looks like he's going for the mid-range jumper. Mid-range jumper is good. Now, 18-point game with 49 seconds to go in the third as Joey Harden finds RJ Rosa. God. Once again, just looks like there's a lack of communication there as Rosa goes with the behind the back pass. Tried to sell the sizzle, didn't have any steak to go with it. As TJ Jenkins is going to be called for his third foul of the game. Smith inbounded by Washington to Du Bois. Finds Smith in the quick handoff. Back to Washington to Du Bois. A lot of quick handoffs. Can't really call it passing, more so handoffs. As Du Bois goes up in traffic. No good. Joey Harden comes down with it. Harden to RJ Rosa. Finds Shaheem Sanders in the paint. Sanders shot up and no good. With 10 seconds to go. As Washington trying to see if he can get one more shot in to end the third. And looks like going to call. And with 0.3 of a second to go, jump ball. Possession's going to favor possession arrow points to the extreme. 0.3 of a second. What do you do with 0.3 of a second? Apparently, you go for a shot, and that's a little off the money. Just a little off the money. At the end of 3, Buffalo Extreme have an 18-point lead over the Saratoga Racers. 94, Saratoga's 76. You guys are just tuning in. That voice you're hearing is me, Brett Porter from NYVT Media. All of your sports coverage, including Saratoga Racers basketball, coming to you live from Spa Catholic High School. The man behind the curtain, Eric Picard, on double duty as both the camera operator, scorekeeper, and producer. 18-point game right now. 12 minutes to go. Does Bob Catherwood have anything up his sleeve? At the rate it's going, the momentum has definitely been favoring Buffalo by a long shot. But in the words of one of my favorite ever players to don a New York Knicks jersey, J.R. Smith, anything is possible. You guys know J.R. Smith, like the same J.R. Smith, New York Knicks, won a ring with LeBron in Cleveland. His senior quote in his yearbook was, quote unquote, "Get chicks or die trying." It's RJ Rosa gonna pass it in. That's inbounded by TJ Jenkins. And he's going to dish that off to Harden. Harden's going to drive up, and he goes for the layup. The layup's no good. It gets a little physical with John Park. Fagan now. And hey, RJ Rosa looked like he was trying to hurdle over Fagan. That's going to be Rosa's second foul of the game. It was Washington left alone from the corner, and that three-pointer is going to be good. Joey Harden dishing off to TJ Jenkins. Jenkins going for a jumper from just beyond the paint. That's no good. Riles comes up with it. And Riles looked like he was getting a little kind of bodied by McRae there for a second. But anyway, Buffalo ball as Howard Washington. Uh, McRae's walking a little slow after that fall. If you heard that at home, we apologize. This Rosa dishes off to Jenkins. Riles. Riles driving. And the ball was picked clean out of his hand. Goes to lay it up. He's got nothing to lay up. Brandon Boyes looked like he was about to go for the three. Instead, gets it from just inside the key. 23, 23-point game. 10:47 to go. As this would be a 30-second timeout. Like I've said before, but Coach Catherwood, it's starting to. I don't want to rule anything out too crazy because, as I said, we do have 10 minutes and 40 seconds, 47 seconds left of basketball. But this is starting to look like a runaway. You guys didn't see that. One of the coaching staff from the Buffalo Extreme shoving Javon McRae. That is not the guy I would be shoving. That is a man of size, if there ever was one. RJ Rosa. RJ Rosa trying to shake Fagan and gets the first points for the Racers in Lord knows how long. Washington, Washington trying to direct the rest of his teammates. And that's going to be picked off in motion. It's RJ Rosa. That three-pointer's up, but that three-pointer's no good. Hits both sides of the rim and just falls right out. And looks like that's going to be. And before it could have been called a jump ball, looked like Saratoga Racers called a timeout just in time. All right. And while they're taking this time out, figure this is just a good time as ever to thank our sponsors who make this broadcast possible, including Lansford Boys and Girls Club, the official practice location of the Saratoga Racers. NYVT Media. And NYVT Media again. I love playing with that. We have two graphics loaded up. But NYVT Media, of course, the company broadcasting this to you right now. The reason you hear me and see all of the high-flying action of ABA basketball. PA Medical Supply. Pinnacle Roofing Incorporated with one of my favorite slogans ever. We've got you covered. As play is going to resume, Riles dishing that into to John Gilmore. Gives it to Lyle. Washington going up for that three. And just like that, the Buffalo Extreme have officially broke triple digits. 102. Saratoga Racers 81 with 9:30 to go. Gilmore. Pass to Riles. To Jenkins. CJ Jenkins. That shot's up. That shot's so good. That's rebounded by Team Sanders, but he can't hold on to it as absolutely driving up the court, Marcellus Cooper. And that's good for a quick two. Gilmore dishing it back off to Riles. And that looks like that's good for two. And now John Riles to go up to the line. And Riles shots up and that's good. Even 20-point game. Fagan inbounded by Washington. Back to Fagan. Finds Cooper in the corner. Finds the boys in the paint. And Shaheem Sanders gets in the way of McCray. And Riles goes up and he gets stuffed as he's going for that jump, for that shot and the glass. John Riles, RJ Rosa gets a piece of that. Doesn't matter. The Extreme maintain possession. That's good for another two. The boys. The boys going up. Looks like they just gave him the keys to the Cadillac there as he just went up into the paint without really any form of resistance from Saratoga. TJ Jenkins now rolling one off the fingertips. That's good for two if they ever decide to change the score. What? Oh, I'm being told I'm being told they had it wrong. And the score you're seeing right now is the accurate reflection. So after some quick score adjustments, the accurate score now, according to our scorekeeper, who just filled everything in within the last 15 seconds, Buffalo Extreme 110. Well, now 113 to Saratoga Racers 86. Jonathan Riles going up for John Riles answers with a 3-point play of his own. The boys being covered by Gilmore. Really being covered by nobody because he goes up into the paint. Dishes one off. Fagan dishes one off to Washington quick. Expecting him probably to go for that three. That's Cooper finding Fagan in the paint. Washington with. Looks like John Miles is going to be. John Miles looks like he is going to be calling on that one. As that timeout is being called. 6:45 to go in the game. Sorry, by the way, a little bit of a technical difficulty on our part as new equipment is being broken in. Well, so we'd like to thank the crew at NYPT Media for giving us some new equipment so we can put on as high of quality of a broadcast production as possible. Sometimes we deal with some growing pains. And so with that in mind, we get back to play. It's Fagan now with the ball, passing it back to Howard Washington. Washington is going to give it back to Cooper. That was a pretty move, but it looks like we had a foul on the play. And, and Todd Spotswood getting called on that foul. Spotswood tried pleading his case with the ref. That was all ball. As Marcellus Cooper getting 2 shots from long. And shots up. Shots good. Luke Perez gives one off. Tobias Holmes, and that's good for 3. Hope, hopefully that gives maybe puts the fire under the rear end for the Racers. Wow, 23-point game with 6:09 to go. Cooper ball goes out of bounds. That's Saratoga ball. Perez giving it off to Joey Harden. Joey Harden rolls it right off the finger. That's good for 2. We're thrown in to Cooper. And Joey Harden just getting it right. Just peanut punches it right out of Cooper's hands. It's now less than a 20-point game. 5:40 to go. As Aaron Jones' 3-pointer goes up and it's no good. Harden gets a fingertips it, and Isaiah Grandison comes down with it. The 6'9" forward out of Sakaste High School as Tobias Holmes goes for the shot. And Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones sends Tobias home to the line for 3. First shot's up. First shot's good. Nothing but net. Tobias Holmes, second one. It's up. Second one's no good. There's John Park. John Park looks like he forgot. Tobias Holmes at 3 from the line. Holmes taking his last free throw. And once again, we'd like to say is you guys can probably hear some of the not so appropriate words. Let's start talking Racers. Yeah, another 2. But if you hear any words from the benches of either team, we'd like to say these do not reflect the thoughts, views, and opinions of NYBT Media or our broadcasting partners. Tobias Holmes lays that one off, and the Saratoga Racers break finally get to the triple-digit threshold. Down 14 with just under 5 minutes to go. As the big man McCray driving in. But that's Luke Perez. It's called. He sent McCray to the free throw line. First one's up. First one smacks off the front of the rim. Great. Second one is up. Second one floats right in. Spotswood dishing it into Joey Harden. Joey Harden alone in a sea of extreme. Giving the spot to dishes it right back to Harden. Isaiah Grandison finger rolls that one, and now 14-point game, 4:35 to go. As the boys passing off to McCray. And McCray manages to climb over Todd Spotswood. Harden. Harden going for a three of his own. And that three is no good. Getting a little physical there. Looks like Luke Perez is going to be getting his second foul. It's fake it. Wow. Pass it in. That's inbounded by Washington. Yeah. That's Smith. Smith was going up to catch that pass. Almost took out an ABA official. Spotswood. It's in. Can you believe it? That's another Tobias Holmes three. Saratoga Racers are not going down without a fight. All right, and with that timeout, take a second to thank some of our sponsors that make this broadcast possible. The Shot Spot Shooting Facility. Are you bad at your free throws? Some people who play in their rec leagues can't make them free throws. Shot Spot Training Facility. Let them teach you how to play basketball. It's funny. Dude, thank you. Stewart Shops. Good ice cream, good milk. Love their ice cream. Peanut butter pandemonium and Philly vanilla. Both actually national award-winning ice cream flavors, if you can believe that. Hotel Trilogy. The hotel's so nice, they named him thrice. And Adirondack Orthodontics. What's a dentist's favorite time? Tooth hurting. Ha, 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 ha. And BBL Hospitality. As we get back underway, 3:52 to go in the game. Smith pass it in. Inbounded by Washington. Back to Washington. It's not Du Bois. Du Bois. Perez playing some very good press coverage. That's McCray. Keeping his distance from Spotswood. Spotswood now getting it up in the grill of Washington. And Spotswood creates and between Todd Spotswood being as good of a wall as you'd expect him. Shot clock violation. That gives Racers the ball again. 3:20 to go in the game. 12-point game as Perez is driving up. And Perez looks like he's gonna get fouled. He's gonna get some shots from the line. Uh, looks like it won't be a shooting foul. Looks like that's a personal. So Joey Harden throw it in. Finds Tobias Holmes. Holmes fake looked like he was going for a three. He's been dangerous from that 3-point line today. If he gives him spots, but gives it back to Holmes. And Javon McCray is there to stop that attempt. But Javon McCray in that process is going to get called for the foul. Tobias Holmes. Get some shots from the line. First one's up. First one's good. Tobias Holmes. Second shot up. And his second shot's good. Huh. So keep it. Yeah. So a 10-point game, 3 minutes, 3 seconds to go. Washington fishing it off to Smith. Smith goes up, and that floater goes in and out. But Javon McCray just gets a finger on it. Not 12-point game. Oh, and John Riles takes a nasty spill. But with that, John Riles can get two drops of black. And foul was on. Number 7, Karan Du Bois. John Riles, first free throw is up. It's no good. Second one's up. Second one's good. 11-point game with 2:49, 28 to go in the game. It's the crowd's pleading for the travel caller. Looks a, uh, Coach Bob Catherwood giving the refs a piece of his mind. But refs are going to stick strong, not call the travel. Siobhan McCray should get 2 shots from the line. That's Joey Harden's 5th foul. Siobhan McCray's first shot's up. Good. Yeah. And McCray's second shot up and good. As coaching staff from Buffalo Extreme signal call a timeout. That gives us an opportunity to thank some of our sponsors who make this possible, including your Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram of Clifton Park, DeAndrea's Pizza, located in beautiful downtown Saratoga, Franklin Hospitality Group, G&S Printing, Greenwich Ford, KS Squared Construction, the Lansingburg Boys and Girls Club, the official practice location of your Saratoga Racers. And last but not least, NYVT Media, the coverage crew, bringing you this video broadcast as we speak. 2:41 to go in the game. Racers down 13 to the visiting Buffalo. Number 2 in the country, Buffalo Extreme. It looked like, for a couple of minutes, looked like the Racers had some real momentum in their favor. And in the past about two-ish minutes or so game time, it looked like Buffalo kind of quelled that flame. But 241 is a lot of time for anything to happen. We've seen crazier things in the world of basketball. Sergio Rosa, bonus, finds Tobias Holmes. Being double teamed right now. Holmes, with a 3 out of nowhere. This is now an even 10-point game. Tobias Holmes keeping it interesting. That's McCray. Oh. Cooper answering Tobias Holmes' three with a dunk of his own. Goes goes for a pass to Harden. RJ Rosa does. Gets picked off. Harden picks off that. Harden. And then Harden gets picked himself. Oh, Luke Perez with a nice little peanut punch to get that ball out of there. As RJ Rosa, looked like that three was going to go on, but it smacks off the front of the rim. And looks like that's going to be a hole. Looks like a hole. It's going to be a hole at number 35, Joey Harden. So it looks like we're on the boys. Shots, shots coming up. Du Bois getting some extra dribbles in, and that's good. Oh, Luke Perez making some moves there. Luke Perez getting 2 points himself. Now for Du Bois getting the horn from John Park. As Joey Harden plays some grown man basketball. And John Park looks like he smacks it off, but they're going to call John Park for goaltending there. So once again, 10-point game, buck 36 to go. As Cooper finds Washington. Washington rolling it back to Cooper. The no call there is John Riles going up for the three. And that three is good. That three is good. After some grown man basketball. 7-point game with 1:22 to go. And once again, that's Javon McCray. On camera, Javon McCray just punched one of the scorekeepers' tables. There's a huge stat in that table now. Because it looks like, obviously, it seems like he's wondering why nothing was called. Obviously, that's a referee's discretion. Referee went with the play on, says the ref mindset. But that opened up John Riles to a three-pointer when they couldn't have used it any sooner. Any later, I would argue. Well, it's just right now. And it looks like we're just about ready to get back into the swing of things. 1 minute, 22 seconds, 82 seconds left of basketball. Crowd getting into it. Crowd seems like they're revitalized after that three from John Riles. Marcus Fagan throw it in. It's going to be inbounded by Washington. Looks like they're going to call RJ Rosa for a reach. Yeah, that's a reaching foul there. And just like that, Buffalo Extremer gets 2 shots at the line. Bob Catherwood giving the officiating staff a piece of his mind. It's Washington's shot. First shot is up and good. And Washington's second shot up and good. 9-point game with a minute 17 to go. Joey Harden making a drive. And that shot's going to get blocked. John Riles goes for the quick pickoff. It doesn't work because Perez getting double teamed. Looked like the ball was about to go out of bounds, but Du Bois. Du Bois got called for a travel there. Riles going up for another three, and that one's no good. But Harden comes down with it. It's good for two, and this opens up the possibility of a three-point play. It's Harden gets fouled on the shot. Shots up. Shots good. 6-point game. 49 seconds to go. John Park trying to rebound it in. Or trying to throw it in. It's Fagan. Fagan finds an open Washington on the run. Tobias Holmes. Tobias Holmes on the hold. And that's it's gonna put Howard Washington up to the line again for two. Washington's first shot up and good. It's a 7-point game right now. It's Washington's second shot up, and that's no good. But Washington ultimately getting the ball back with a rebound. A little bit of misdirection. And Washington's still going up. Washington's shot is up and it's good. Now a 9-point game with 32 seconds to go. Riles making a drive up. And it looks like they're going to call that. So they're going to call that against Buffalo. Just like that, John Riles. 9-point game right now. 26-7 left on the clock. So he gets 2 shots from the line. Makes both of these 7-point game. Three possessions in 27 seconds it's a steep task, but it's not technically impossible. Riles first one up and no good. Miles' second shot is good. Uh, and it looks like they were trying. They're going to call that jump ball. And wow, it looks like John Riles and Catherwood. Riles and Catherwood having some words with each other. Looks like they're going to honor it back. So they're trying to say Saratoga Racers called a. Oh, that's a lot of back and forth there just to figure out who had possession. And it ends with Buffalo Extreme taking a quick 30-second timeout. 8-point. 8-point game. 20 seconds. Technically speaking, as I've learned to brush up on the rules of the American Basketball Association, Saratoga Racers could, in fact, make two half-court shots, which is what they call a four-point play. Could technically happen. You don't want to, obviously, you never want to rule anybody out, but 20.3 seconds separating us from the end of this game. And with that, Joey Harden throwing it in. Try to find the open man. Who is the open man? And oh, that is picked off instantly by Smith. 16.2 seconds to go. Riles goes up for a three, and that three is no good. RJ Rosa manages to finish that off. 11 seconds to go. As Du Bois ball. And Marcellus Cooper is just going to dribble this one out. As the Saratoga Racers drop one to the number 2 in the country, Buffalo Extreme, 134 to the Saratoga Racers, 126. Racers should not be ashamed. They kept it this close against number 2 in the country, Buffalo Extreme. To all of you guys who tuned in from home, this is Brett Porter with Niven Media Sports covering your Saratoga Racers at Spot Catholic High School. Tune in tomorrow for day 2 of the MLK Classic as they take on the Rochester Royal Ballers tomorrow, Sunday, 3 p.m. in beautiful downtown Saratoga. Brett Porter and Eric Picar signing off. Have a wonderful night, guys. We'll talk soon.